uncertain school year starting this week for many, the latest grades show a year of remote learning had Michigan students falling behind. Is there an answer? And on this Labor Day weekend, the labor market continues to confound many business leaders. Will disappearing unemployment benefits adjust the picture? Today is Sunday, September 5th, 2021, and this is Flashpoint. Hi, welcome to Flashpoint. Hope you're enjoying the holiday weekend. This weekend is many things, of course, the traditional end of summer, the precursor to the new start of a new school year. But we'll keep our focus on the labor part of the holiday today. We have a very complicated work climate in the U.S. just now. The national unemployment rate is just under 5.5%. That's nearly half what it was a year ago. And yet business owners continue to struggle to find enough workers. There are more than 9 million job openings in America right now. A federal enhancement of $300 a week disappeared yesterday, but few believe that is suddenly going to solve the worker shortage. We're going to talk about that just ahead this morning. Getting back to the start of the school year, we're also going to talk about the latest test results to come in. They are not exactly a glowing endorsement of virtual learning. That wasn't all bad news. In fact, for some older students, reading scores actually went up slightly, but overall, big drops in math and social studies scores. What are we learning about learning in a pandemic? We'll talk about that too. And a little later on, as we approach the 20th anniversary of the attack on the World Trade Center, the New Yorker elections of our own Tim Pamplin, the man behind the nightcam. All today on Flashpoint. As we celebrate Labor Day, the American jobs picture is a bit like looking in a funhouse mirror. Things feel awfully distorted, but then again, a pandemic will do that. Low unemployment, so many jobs yet needing to be filled, a federal unemployment subsidy that ended yesterday, but an enormous number of employees who are working but say they are seriously considering leaving for another gig. Let's talk about the workplace this morning. It is good to have with us Carolyn Casson, the CEO of Michigan Women Forward. Sandy Barua is here, the CEO of the Detroit Regional Chamber, ahead of the big Mackinac Policy Conference coming up this month. John McElroy of Autoline is back with us, and Liz Blondie, the owner and absolute resolute force behind K9 to 5. And Liz, as a business owner, you've talked a lot in the papers, you've been on Live in the D talking about the struggles that you've had in hiring as we head into the fall now. I want to start with you. What's it look like for you now?
Unfortunately, it's looking a little bit desperate and not that optimistic. At K9 to 5 right now, we've got 16 open positions.
16.
And that number, yeah. Everybody got a pandemic puppy in COVID. So the demand for services is higher than ever. And the labor pool or the applicants are less than ever. And that's really been consistent, at least for the last 10 months probably. It's frustrating and it's frightening kind of to balance the needs of the business with being an attractive employer at this time.
What does it mean for have you gotten to the point where you're having to curtail what you do?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're not limited by space. We're only limited by labor at this time. So we're turning away a lot of dogs, which is, always disappointing as a small business owner. You've mentioned the federal subsidy ending. I've spoken to a lot of other small business owners across the U.S. in states where the subsidy ended early. And unfortunately, they're not seeing more applicants. And they're not seeing applicants actually show up.
Carolyn, there are a lot of people that wanted to blame the enhanced unemployment benefits for people not going back to work and not taking these jobs. And yet, I think you know that it's much more complicated than that. For example, there haven't been a lot of childcare options for a lot of women. Schools have been shut down. Childcare centers, the pandemic has curtailed, in fact, not just whether they're open, but the willingness to avail yourselves of those places if you're worried about the pandemic. It's much more complicated, isn't it, Carolyn?
It absolutely is. It's much more, it looks day after day, it looks more and more like a continuation of the women's pandemic. We're breadwinners, we're caregivers, we're caring for our children. Now we want them to be safe in the public schools and in the private schools, and we can't quite figure a way out of this. And so we are, and the subsidy went away, which was a lifeline for many families that were struggling. We want to get back to work. I guarantee you, women want to get back to work. They want to go outside the home and they want to take these jobs that are available to them, but they've got to know that their kids are safe, that their kids are getting well educated, and that they're going to they're going to be able to turn their attention to work before they get back into the job market.
Schools are getting started here again, but I don't think anybody would bet somebody else's money yet on where the school year is headed and whether we end up going back to virtual, which means that everybody's going to have to stay on the balls of their feet, right?
That's the way it's felt for the last 18 months, and I think that's the way it's going to feel certainly for the rest of this year till that vaccine for children comes out. But you know, as we heard, Sandy and I heard yesterday from Wright Lassiter, he actually sounded almost optimistic about the fact that there may be an end in sight to this. You know, within the next 6 months, maybe not an end to the pandemic, maybe not an end to COVID, but an end to some of these issues that we've really all been struggling with.
Well, Sandy Barua, give me some reason for some optimism here, or do you have any at the moment?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not what I was called in for. Listen, there is some optimism out there. You know, just to expand on Liz's point just a bit, you know, as the federal benefits, extended unemployment benefits expire and the moratorium on evictions expire, we're going to see a little loosening in the labor market, but not a lot. In fact, you know, Liz is right. There's, you know, the data is pretty mixed in terms of states that ended their unemployment benefits earlier. What's actually having a bigger impact on bringing people back to work is this Delta variant. And you're seeing it now. I mean, we now see that, you know, major airlines are seeing a decline in air passenger traffic because people are concerned about traveling and going out. We're seeing restaurant reservations. Again, these are national figures that are also declining because of the Delta variant. And, you know, so, you know, not just the Detroit Regional Chamber, but the U.S. Chamber, the Business Roundtable, National Manufacturers Association, you know, we've all really encouraged and, you know, and some of those organizations have actually mandated vaccines in their organizations because the fastest way to get back to normalcy, both in our social lives and in our business lives, is to get through this pandemic. And we can't get through the pandemic until people are vaccinated and, you know, this pandemic runs its course.
It has gotten so tricky on so many fronts. Let me bring in John McElroy here. John, you, of course, specialize in the auto industry, and it is still, of course, the spoke or the wheel that all the spokes in Detroit turn around in so many ways. We have all these supply chain problems. We've got the chip issue. We've got struggles between unions and management over how they should proceed with vaccines. What's it look like from your vantage point, John?
Well, I'm almost tempted to say just another day in the auto industry, because if something's not blowing up, something else is. But look, this labor shortage was an acute issue with automakers and suppliers even before COVID hit, even before the chip situation. Whether you're talking skilled trades or engineers or other technical professionals, the industry was struggling to get them. The one minor lining, silver lining in all this is the automakers, at least for the technical kind of positions, are now able to recruit anywhere in the country, actually anywhere in the world, and tell people, don't worry, you don't have to move to the Detroit area. We're all working remotely. So that's one thing that's working in the favor, but everything else is just a big mess in the auto industry right now. The chip shortage, nobody saw coming. It looks like it's not going to get resolved for another year or so. Everyone thought it would be resolved by now.
Right.
That hasn't happened. And you just know there's some other big problem lurking out there. And probably the next big problem is getting enough raw materials to make batteries and electric motors for electric cars.
Sandy, I think that's exactly right. Everybody thought that this supply chain issue was going to resolve itself. I think more and more the evidence is that this is what we got to get used to.
Yeah, I mean, the shortages that are taking place in all industries, construction, manufacturing, food and beverage, is just outstanding. But it's not just the supply of materials that John talked about. It's getting materials to wherever they need to go. The shortage in transportation, truck drivers, is just enormous right now. And that's not getting any better either, because the percentage of retirements of older people, 55 and older, has just skyrocketed this last 18 months.
Let me get back to Liz, because Liz is a business owner. I'm really curious about your thoughts and what you're doing when it comes to vaccines.
Actually, when Sandy said that the thing that's going to get the workforce back is kind of the Delta variant, that's our biggest challenge right now. Actually, we had incentivized our team, I think back in June, or maybe even back in May, to get vaccinated once it was more widely available. We had offered to pay them, we had offered paid days off. And still, I have a very young workforce, probably, 20 to 26 years old, and still 55% of them are vaccinated. And the other 45%, they don't want to get vaccinated. They don't want to hear me talk about it anymore. They don't want me to push them. And so when I have, 15, 16 open positions, and I've got these, 40 employees that are refusing to get vaccinated, where does that leave small business? Do I say you can't work here anymore? I can't do that.
Well, that's a great point, Carolyn. I think some people have thought that business will lead here with these vaccine mandates, and yet a lot of businesses can't afford to do that.
They can't. But those who are leading, I think, are keeping us safe, and thank goodness that they are. Sandy and I see a lot of businesses stepping up and saying, especially businesses that are outward facing. Our business, we are out there working with entrepreneurs, trying to get money into their hands, and we didn't require it, but we strongly encouraged it, and we said, look, think about keeping that person safe.
Yeah. John, I've only got about 10 seconds left. Give me your thumbnail on what the vaccine picture is doing to especially the auto industry.
Well, the automakers in town here are talking about mandating vaccinations. They haven't committed to quite that yet. The UAW is pushing back. It wants it voluntary. But my bet is when push comes to shove, the Detroit Three are going to mandate it, and suppliers will go along with it.
Great conversation, gang. Thanks so much, everybody. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. We'll be back with more on Flashpoint right after this.
The NFL is back, and DraftKings' latest offer is a sure thing. So we got former automatic NFL kicker Martin Gramatica to break it down. Martin?
Bet just $1 on any NFL game, get $200 Automatica, no matter what.
That is Automatica, Martin Gramatica.
It's no stressy, Jesse.
Download the app, sign up with the promo code. Bet $1 to get $200 automatically, and make it rain with an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
Just think, he'll be driving for real soon. Every new Chevy Equinox comes standard with Chevy Safety Assist, including automatic emergency braking. Find new protection. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
Welcome back. School started for many last week and for still more the day after tomorrow. And it comes with so many questions and debates swirling about masks and in-person learning. And it also comes on the heels of new test results that show us, perhaps unsurprisingly, students are struggling with the new schoolhouse. It is very good to have with us the incoming president and CEO of the Skillman Foundation, Angelique Power. Angelique, it's our first chance to talk to you on the program. Welcome to Flashpoint, and I should also say welcome to Detroit.
Thank you, Devin. I'm so happy to be here with you in particular.
Well, I'm curious to be the head of a foundation that is right now so focused, of course, solely focused on educating children. You come to this job at a really extraordinary time. That's got to be a daunting task in front of you.
It's an incredible opportunity. This is a moment we're coming off of a year and a half where collectively we understand that this has been a traumatic year, that we've been adjunct faculty in our children's lives, helping to educate them. We understand how hard teachers work, and we know that mental health and well-being has to be at the center of any sort of education plan and recovery. So to work with Skillman, a group of thoughtful warriors, champions of children, this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
I like the way you're looking at it. I also like the way you're looking at parents as being adjunct faculty. That's for sure. And that's a role for which many didn't believe that they were necessarily prepared. And now moving into another year, it was one thing moving into a year when we didn't know what to expect. I think a lot of parents are worried about the year ahead because they do know what last year was like.
Well, and I'm a parent.
Yeah.
I have an 11-year-old daughter who's going into 6th grade. And what we know is that the year ahead isn't going to be like the one 2 years ago, and it's not going to be like the one that we just emerged from. You know, our teachers have put so much thought, and administrators, and effort into changing their pedagogy and figuring out how do you teach fully remotely, how do you teach in a hybridized fashion. And now they are better equipped to come into the classrooms and to begin to work together in a new way. So I think children and youth are longing to be together in spaces.
Yes.
There's so much that you learn in school that is beyond the curriculum. So I think we have a year ahead where there's going to be a lot of the life lessons that were learned over the last year and a half that will be brought into the schoolroom.
We're all looking a lot at these recent test results that showed while there were some gains in some areas, for the most part, students not doing as well as before on the test. I think that you're also mindful, though, that not as many people took the test this time around, right?
Thank you for mentioning that. And I think any principal or any teacher will tell you that this was, for the most part, an optional test. It was framed that way, and so a small percentage of students opted in to take a test. So that is the first thing to lift. The second thing I would say is that what you were testing is if this curriculum that is normally taught in person in a completely different way landed when it was taught remotely or in a hybrid model in a completely different way. And so what you're comparing is really more about what are the supports that youth need coming back into school. It's not an indictment on how the students are learning or what they've learned. It really is a jumping off point to use to say, okay, we need to wrap students with this type of support, that type of support, et cetera.
It would be the least surprising thing, though, to me, to find that children are struggling to learn in this new sort of world. And I wonder, though, how much of it has to do with the nuts and bolts of learning, and how much of it goes back to what you were talking about a while ago, and that's their mental fitness and their sort of psychological outlook right now. They're surrounded by parents and by social media right now that is a lot of gloom and doom. They know that they're living at a time that is very challenging. They're worried about, they're hearing and seeing the arguments over masks. I mean, this is a really difficult environment in which to try to buckle down and learn, isn't it?
It is. You know, there are staff at Skillman. I remember a staff member said to me this summer, Carmen is her name, and she said she was a principal before she became a program officer at Skillman. And she said, when students come in the door, and they have their backpacks on their shoulders, they're carrying so many things with them into that classroom. And so I think it's more apparent to us now that there's a lot of hurt and trauma and grief and loss that children are carrying into the classroom, but it has been happening for a very long period of time. You know, the school day is such an opportunity for us to learn together how to take this collective trauma that we have, not just as students, but also teachers and administrators, and work together to learn in an environment that's nourishing as well as challenging. So yes, I think that there are students that are coming in after a really difficult year, but I think that the space to create rapid, massive change is the classroom if we provide enough supports and resources to help teachers get there.
Which gets me to the last thing I wanted to talk about. I'm really curious as to how you feel. We have always believed that one size does not fit all in American education. We believe in local control, and yet what that does is it creates this huge patchwork quilt in which we don't have a unified response right now when it comes to masks or vaccines. Is that the beauty of American education, or is that hurting us right now in your view?
You know, I would boil it down to an approach to a child. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to every child that has to be customized. That said, having standards and having a rigorous collective approach is critical. You know, you're making me think of this effort that is underway right now called Launch Michigan. And it is a group of business leaders and policymakers and teachers and superintendents and community leaders who are coming together, thinking through the American Rescue Plan Act, the dollars that are coming in, the tremendous needs that have been emerging since the pandemic and before. And they're making a collective plan that ideally allows for customization, but puts us all on the same course to really put kids first.
We're in the middle of such an interesting laboratory right now, and that's another part of it. You're exactly right. Angelique, great to have this conversation with you. I hope it's the first of many on Flashpoint. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Devin.
You bet. We come back, some reflections on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.
Local 4 welcomes Soaring Eagle Arts, Beats, and Eats, presented by Flagstar Bank, Labor Day weekend in downtown Royal Oak. Enjoy the Beaumont Health Fine Art Fair, food from 60 restaurants, and concerts from Stone Temple Pilots, Rise Against, Justin Moore, Neon Trees, The Guess Who, Bobby Brown, Starship, and more on the Michigan Lottery stage. Plus, fun for the family. Admission is $5 before 3, $10 after, and is shared with 50 local nonprofits. Sponsored by these fine corporations.
Another day, another chance. Make the most of it with a network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. And get the advanced cybersecurity solutions you need with Comcast Business Security Edge.
Ask how to get Comcast Business Security Edge to help protect all your connected devices. And get started with fast and reliable internet and voice for just $35 each a month when you buy both. Plus, ask about our best deal on a gig bundle and how to get a $500 prepaid card. Call or go online today to learn more. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Rhonda truly feels for the stories that we talk about. She truly has a compassion for the people that are here in the city of Detroit.
She cares about Detroit. Every story matters to her.
She truly is a professional.
Day in and day out, she brings her A game.
Rhonda's our moral compass. Imagine where we would be without her.
A true person, true to herself, true to her community, and that just screams at you in a good way, and you feel it whenever you see her on TV.
I think that's why people trust her.
Next Saturday will mark 20 years since the attacks on the World Trade Center and all that 9/11 has come to mean to us as Americans. This morning, I wanted to share with you the reflections of our Tim Pamplin, our night cam reporter. Hear his thoughts as one of the people that we dispatched to New York 20 years ago.
We have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center.
And we just clicked the TV on, and we saw what everybody saw. My immediate response was shock and horror, like everybody else's. But my immediate concern was for my child, was what are they seeing? How are they processing what they're seeing? I didn't know how I was processing it, and my first concern was for my child.
Oh, another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building. And
the phone rang, so it's like all hands on deck, and then you just get into your journalism mode, right? You go, and then it's a matter of how do you get there? It's for logistics. A situation like this, first call, of course, is go to the airport, try and get on a plane. You get to the airport, you find there are no planes. All the planes have been grounded. We were considering driving out right then and there. We held back. We regrouped.
When Lincoln, during the Civil War, looked out and saw the soldiers coming from Michigan, he said, "Thank God for Michigan." Well, we're kind of hoping to do the same thing.
We got a phone call from Sheriff Bouchard up in Oakland County. He says, we're sending people out there. We got search and rescue teams, we got officers, we got EMS, we got firefighters, we got search and rescue teams. And at 11 o'clock, we pulled out of 1200 North Telegraph and started heading east. We didn't have a newsroom. Imagine there's media from around the world descending on this small patch of the island of Manhattan, in Manhattan, right? So you've got thousands of media, and there's no infrastructure to handle thousands of media. You have a handful of satellite trucks, which everybody's sharing. Jeff Vaughn and I, who were out there, we operated out of a tent on the side of the docks there where we were stationed up. I got one photograph of a New York Police Department van. The driver drove as far as they could to get away from there, and none of them made it, and they basically died in this police vehicle, which was left there. And we were there for about 3 weeks. I went by that vehicle every day. It didn't move. It was like there was a memorial.
Let me just cross the road one time and see if I can get one shot down.
There's one thing that has stuck with me from 20 years ago, and that was the smell. Talking about it now, I can smell the smell that I smelled 20 years ago. It was a combination of burning electronics and burning flesh. It's an insidious smell that once it gets deep into your brain, you just can't get rid of it. And that stayed with me forever. It probably will.
Family members come to the Armory to make a report, but you can't get there without seeing the thousands of missing posters along the wall.
So many Michigan connections, so many Michigan people were in those towers. When we saw the pictures of all the lost, the people that couldn't find people, you know, it hits you in the heart. You're seeing babies' faces, and I got a baby at home. It tore my heart out. I was numb for the entire 3 weeks. You were on autopilot. You have to let your training and your experience take over, because if you get caught up in the emotions of what's going on, you just never get it. You'll just never be able to. You'll just never get it done. Without blowing our trumpets, what we do is so important. We get messages out. We get the word out. We shine the light where the light doesn't often want to be shone, or people don't want the light shone. We've got to do the work, and we've got to stay strong.
Tim is such a great storyteller. I'm so glad we could talk him into being on the other side of the camera for once. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for being here. Meet the Press is next. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Flashpoint.